Married people of Reddit, imagine someone pointed your future spouse out to you before you started dating and told you you'd marry one day. How would you have reacted? Wow, really? I would marry my best friend's sister. Their family is crazy. I'd have called them a fool. My so isn't anything like what I was looking for in a spouse. I'd be impressed with myself and wonder how in the world I pull something like that off. I was introduced to my husband by a mutual friend with the exact saying, "Hey Pustain Sunlimited, this is the guy you're gonna marry." He was right and was the best man in our wedding. Heck. I would have said no bloody way. My husband is tall, slim, and is chiseled to perfection. I kid you not. When I texted my mother a picture of this guy that wants to ask me out, she said, "Who did you stab to get him to be single?" He is also the sweetest human being ever. Like he has a bleeding heart for everything. He can't let a crying baby just be. The guy has to make sure that everything is okay, and if he can help, he gets all the permission he needs to help. All I'm able to do is feed him. If someone pointed him out to me a year before we met, I would have punched them for just being mean to me. I was on the bus one morning and looking around during a particularly transitional point in my life. I thought, wow, my future wife could be on this bus right now. I then looked around at the various people testing out that hypothesis. Nope, she'd think I'm too crazy, etc. As I scanned the crowd, then I saw this blonde woman in a cute sweater, who was obviously late for work. I thought, nope, straight up nutter. 40 minutes later she walked into my office, as she was a temp at my office that day. 3 months later we started dating. 20 years ago she became my wife. Straight up nutter though. I met me wife a year before we started dating at a mutual friend's party. We have no recollection of meeting, but on our first official date we found out about the mutual friend and she mentioned the party. She then pulled out a photo book with a picture from said party. I'm on one side of the group looking very early 90s preppy, and she's on the other side looking very 1970s punk. We've been together since '92, smiley face. I apparently made a very good first impression, ha 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 ha. Edit. I should have pointed out that we grew up and lived in totally different parts of Ontario. I grew up in Brampton, a suburb of Toronto, and she grew up in Dunnville, a small town along the waters of Lake Erie. The party was in the summer between grade 12 and our OAC year. I had known my friend since grade 4, she had met him at a speech competition at the United Nations during our grade 12 year. What's even better is that he had no idea that we had met, dated, moved in together, and then got married until he moved back to Canada after completing his PhD in the US. The look on his face the first time he saw us was priceless, beaming face with smiling eyes. 40 years ago I would have said hell no. I am happy I didn't. We will be celebrating 40 years of marriage this August. He still gives me butterflies. I would have kicked their in, as in high school we absolutely hated each other. This is a pretty funny question because before my so and I began dating, we knew each other, of course. Never in a million years did I think we would be together. At a party, I ended up taking a Snapchat photo of us, and without him knowing it, I captioned it, "Please marry me." Been a few years since and now we're talking about engagement. So to answer your question, I would be ecstatic. Dude. Absolutely delighted. That would have made my day. My so is 100% my type. He caught my eye the second I saw him. Can't believe we're actually married now. Oh my god, you guys, men and women can be just friends. Yes, we're best friends and love to spend time together, but there is nothing there. Life isn't a goddamned rom-com. Yes, so, sometimes you do fall in love with your best friend, and sometimes it's conveniently right around the same time they fall in love with you. Total and utter disbelief. She was, and still is, my dream girl. I could never imagine being with another person. For reals. When do I get to start? Delighted. And stunned that she'd have such low standards. I was interested in her the moment we got introduced to each other, and we moved in with each other 6 weeks later. We've been together for more than 10 years now, married, etc. Wait, not only does he like me, but he'll even marry me one day? Are you sure? Is this some sort of cruel joke? Honestly, still surprised it happened and tremendously glad it did. Total rejection. When I meet him, he was some sort of gothic Wiccan mystical thing, and I was a depressed soft Christian weeboo. Not a good match, but if you ask him, he would say he knew we were a thing since second one. I blame it on his mystical side. I would have been skeptical of that prediction. She was tall and attractive, but aloof. No interest in me at all. But, like a cat, you had to win her trust. So I gave it a shot, and we've been married 37 years.